Hi, Fit Tribe.
Hi, Fit Tribe. Woohoo! How's everybody today?
We are going to show you a couple of tips on some work, body strengthening you can do at home, body toning and strengthening, mobility, things that are going to keep your muscles strong, your bones strong, and all those things.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to just start with a couple of different full body exercises.
Right. We also want to just talk to you a little bit. We know how hard it is to get to the gym and get to classes and things like that. So some of the things that you can keep at home that can go slip under a bed or slip in a closet very easily that we find that are really, really important. You can even have them in your trunk in case you travel a lot for work or something like that. So the things that we like to invest in, because obviously it's hard to invest in a lot at home, especially if you have a gym membership. But definitely some kind of a yoga mat or a mat that you can be comfy on the floor. If you really don't want to spend money on that, a towel is great, or a couple towels stacked on top of each other is always great, okay? The next thing, you have to pick weights, some hand weights that are very doable for you. I would not go under 3 pounds, so these are 5 pounds.
3 to 5 to 8 is typically a good. 5's pretty much, if you're just going to get one set, 5's is the one.
5's great, because I think that the thing to remember too is not necessarily like how heavy they are, but how many reps you do and how controlled the motion is and the correct motion, right?
Yes.
So if you just want to tone as opposed to really building tone and get lean muscle mass, like 5 is a really great weight, and then you just do many reps, okay? So then the next thing I like to keep around my house are, as many ladies who come to the studio a lot know, I'm a little obsessed with the booty bands, okay? And you can get them online, Amazon, Target, Walmart, all that kind of stuff. These are really fantastic. They come in different widths, okay, depending on what you like. And usually they come in a pack of 3. They come in light, medium, and strong. And it's really important because, you might want to start with the light and you think, wow, that's really easy. But once you really start picking it up and doing many reps, you'll really start to feel it. And these are good for a lot of things. We're going to show you some options to do either standing or even laying on the ground with bridge. Okay?
And this is another type of a band that you can use to help stretch. So sometimes, like, I'm very tight in my hamstring, so if I can't reach my toes, I may use these bands to create some resistance to pull and there, or that, exactly.
Right.
Things that I
So
couldn't
if you're
do.
laying on the floor, this is great as an assisted stretch, okay? And then you can also stretch cross body and everything like that. So we're going to show you some tips with this. These usually come in packs too. These are really, really awesome. And also too, you can actually use them as with toning and strengthening too, if you want. All right, so those are some options with that. So these are just some basics, and then we pulled out the step because we're going to be doing some calf raises on those steps. Typically, somebody has a step in your house, whether it's a step up into your living room or into the kitchen or a full flight of stairs. If you don't have any stairs, not even a step outside on your porch or anything like that, these are really great, these little portable steps. The only thing that I would suggest is make sure that you have something, a countertop or something to hold on to, just because they can wobble when you're doing the calf raises. But calf raises are not only important for your calves and your ankles and all that, but it's also great, and your shins, but it's also great for the booty. So just remember that, all right? What else? Oh, we have a kettlebell. Not necessarily a necessity, but these are really, really, really great to have around the house. Jen, what weight do you suggest with that?
Oh,
like
gosh.
15 or 10?
15 or 10, typically you want a little bit heavier of a kettlebell because you're usually using it with both arms, and you're usually using it for lower body focused exercises, and you need a little bit heavier, so I would do 15 probably.
And then another option is some kind of medicine ball, because what it's great for is it's great for ab workout as well as toning your arm and everything like that. But so typically this is maybe an add-on for later on, but if you want to get one at home, these are fantastic. It has a little bit of weight. Yes. All right, and it's great with partnering too, in case you want to work with your spouse or a friend or anything like that to pass back and forth. All right, so we're gonna get started.
We're gonna start with a plank because planks are one of the most fabulous exercises that if you can't do anything, do a plank a few times a week. It's gonna tone your upper body, your core, which is so incredibly important for everything. So I've heard, I asked a trainer, what's the best ab workout if you could only choose one, and she said plank, hands down, and keep increasing. Do as much as you can. So if you can only hold it for 10 seconds, hold it for 10 seconds, and gradually the next week, hold it for 20 seconds or 15 seconds or even 12 seconds. And I would just encourage you to get up to a minute, and then once you hit the minute, keep increasing. Get to where you can do a couple minute plank, and you will really, really notice just your whole body feeling stronger. It helps with posture, which is key to everything. So planks are probably like one of the number one exercises. One thing we're going to show you how to do one. One thing I was taught this, and you want to engage basically your pelvic floor. So one way of doing it when you're doing a plank, so you have the right form. One thing you can do is focus on squeezing your quad muscles, so sort of igniting your quad muscles, and that will help put your lower body in the right position as you then keep your core solid.
I would agree with that. And as the ladies know and the gentlemen know that come to my class, my Tabata class, we do planking to a Tabata song, which would be 20 seconds of work and 8 seconds of rest, and that's 8 times in the song. So that's a really good base builder. And what we do also is we do some modifications, but we also do some pump ups, right? We do some add-ons. So we'll show you some ideas for add-ons, how to make the plank a little bit more challenging, and that kind of thing. There's also a great song you can YouTube plank to, which is called the Sally song, and it's and they even show you online what the Sally song is about. That's one of my favorite songs to plank to, as well as the Tabata song. So all right, so let's go ahead and show you the plank. I think we should do both. So
the base show elbows. Typically up is going to be a little less challenging. On your elbows, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Right. So right here, I'm thinking about squeezing my quadricep muscles, which are your thigh muscles. So I'm not here. We're not here. We're neutral.
Yep, we're in a neutral form. Now, if this is too challenging for you, and if you don't like having your wrists, I know that it takes a lot of the wrist strength to do the way I'm doing. You can also go down on your knees, okay? So you'll be planking on your hands and on your knees, or you can even go down to elbows and knees, all right, to start with, if you find it too challenging, because it is engaging the most muscles in your entire body. Plank and push-ups are the two most difficult full body workouts you can do for yourself. So if it's too challenging, this is modification, and then this would be the next step, and this would be the next step.
And then you can also have, if you have a step or something a little bit higher, you can put your arms up there, which takes a little pressure off the upper body. If you have, sometimes your core might be stronger than your upper body, so you could be on your elbows on something a little higher, or on your hands on something a little higher, and then you are taking a little more of the pressure off, but you just kind of have to be mindful and focus on what you're actually using, and put your mind to what muscles you're using. So if you can focus on your core, that will make a big difference. And then you can also do, sometimes I like to do this would be a little break for me, if my arms are hurting.
And actually that's kind of a level up. So if you want to level up, like a Sally up, Sally down, so this would be the up position and this would be the down position, and then you have to work yourself back up to the position, switch arms, and work yourself back up. So that's a level up position. Another level up position would be to bring your knees to your elbows, or to inside and down. That would be another level up. Another level up is to raise a leg, hold it for 10 seconds, raise a leg, hold it for 10 seconds. Anyone that you want to share?
I think that's pretty good right there.
Yeah, that's a really good start. So anyway, this is the plank. And when we do our Tabata tomorrow, we'll go ahead and film it, and we'll film the plank song with the Tabata. All right?
Okay.
Yay!
And now I'd like to do a little quick stretch after.
Child pose.
Yep. Okay, so what's next?
So what's next would
We'll
be
do some band work. We'll show a little band.
all right, should we show the bridge move?
The bridge move, or should we do? We'll do the.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna show.
Before we do the bands, I'm going to show you just the regular bridge and some good ways to utilize the bridge would be, when you want to do the bridge, you want to have your feet kind of close to your rear end.
I think I've been bringing closer.
Yeah, we're going to have your feet kind of close to your rear end, and then you're going to have your feet shoulder width apart. And you're going to lay down, you're going to cross your arms over the top. Okay, this is to engage some of your abs to where you're doing it. So when you raise up, you're going to squeeze your buttocks and push through the heels and down. Okay, so that's just the basic bridge up. All right, so if you want, you could do 3 sets of 12 for that. Okay, and then if you, the next move to
at the top.
Right, really squeeze at the top. You can even hold it. You're going to raise and hold it. Raise for, and then hold for 5 seconds and lower it. Make sure everything is nice and controlled, because you really want to make sure that it's just not up and down and up and down. You want to make sure it's squeezing all the way up and releasing all the way down, but still staying in controlled contractions, okay? The next one would be to keep your feet shoulder width apart, but move your knees together, okay? So same thing, you want to squeeze up and lower down, still engaged. Raise up, hold, and squeeze down. Nice job. Okay, so then the next level would be to, and make sure, again, like I don't know if you noticed, but as we were doing that, I kind of shifted my body away from my feet. So you want to make sure that you do keep your feet kind of close to the buttocks. Okay, so you're going to raise one leg. The knees are going to be parallel to one another, and your hips are going to be level when you raise up. All right? So you're going to do 12 of those.
And really push through the heel of the foot that's down.
Exactly. You want to make sure you're pushing through the heel and really engaging the whole hamstring and glute. Okay, so you're going to do that 12 reps, and you're going to do 3 sets of that.
And switch sides.
And then switch sides. Okay, so that's that. Make sure your knees are parallel and that your hips are level. Okay? And then, of course, another one of my favorites is when you go on your side and you do side leg lifts. Is another great glute exercise.
Look, I'm in your way. I'm not going to do
You're
it.
not in my way. No, not at all. I get a nice view too. So basically, too, with this, you want to make sure that your hips are rolled forward, not back. You don't want to sit back, right? You want to really stack your hips so that you almost feel like you're rolled forward a little bit.
And sometimes I
straight up and down.
I don't really turn my foot, but I'm almost concentrating on my heel leading the way.
Exactly. Because you don't want to lead with your toe,
right.
Then you're working your inner thigh. So you want to make sure that it's a heel lead on the rise up. And again, nice and controlled, okay? Then another move, and you can do that with the booty band too, which we'll show you in a minute. So then if you want to go to your elbows and knees, you can, I call it push the ceiling tile up.
I'm right in your line. I'm going to go this way.
So you want to push the ceiling tile up. So basically, your knee is bent, your foot is flat, and you're popping that ceiling out.
And squeezing the muscle you're working, which is your glute.
Right.
And you'll feel it in your hamstring too.
And then from here, you can straighten and bend, straighten and bend. That's another one. And then straight leg lifts as well. Okay, and then obviously you repeat that on the other side, right?
Let's show them some standing.
Yeah, so we'll show you some standing
with
moves
the
with bands. I don't know which one I'm grabbing.
This is extra heavy. I'm not using extra heavy right now.
I don't know what I grabbed.
Let's do what's this. I'll try this bigger one. I'm not sure what it is.
All right, so we're gonna just modify this just a second. Hello, yes, hello. Hey. Okay. Did that work?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Come back a little bit.
I'm just gonna move my
Yeah, I think we're doing that. Okay, so the basic booty band that you can do even while you're brushing your teeth at home, believe me, I've tried it, is just to do
I think it should be up in the
side.
front. Let me get in the back because you're speaking and microphone.
Is to do the side to side. So you're going to do 5 over, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4.
So we're not bringing our legs
3,
together. We're keeping
2,
tension on the band the whole
1.
time.
Yep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, and you want to make sure you're not doing that.
Which I almost was because this is too tight for me.
Well, you know, that's why I said start with the light, because believe it or not, at the end of your 5 reps back and forth, right, you're going to do that 5 times. So think 5, 5, and 5, okay? 5 across, 5 leg lifts, 5 across, 5 leg lifts, and 5 times, okay? So that's step number 1. Another great booty band option is the monster walks, which are basically C's. You're making a C with your foot. And again, to the back, 2, 3.
Wait a minute, I gotta go
and
out.
4. Yeah, so you're just doing a C shape, right? From up to back. So those are monster walks. And you want to stay as straight as you can doing it. Dun, 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 dun,
You gotta be coordinated. Jen's getting it. I'm getting there. Here we go.
All right. So we're going to just stand at the bar and show you then the back leg lift. So you're going to basically just kind of stay a little bit engaged. Make sure that your abs are engaged. You're a little bit forward. And you want to make sure that you're not doing that. Just like one of those stiffer things, but you're just staying slightly forward, abs engaged. And you want to lead with the heel. Right? So you're going to do one side. 3 sets of 10. The other side, 3 sets of 10. Right? And then you want to do the side, 3 sets of 10. And the other side, 3 sets of 10. Now the one that's kind of tricky is the inside, right? And you want to make sure that you have heel to toe and you're bringing that slightly forward.
Again, sort of leading with the heel a little bit.
Absolutely leading with the heel if you want to get that inner thigh. All right, and then once you're done with those, we're going to go ahead and place your foot inside the strap so it's like looks like that in the back. Okay, and then you're going to do a pushback, right? So almost like you're kicking back. I don't know if you can see that.
Maybe the other side.
Right? I'll do the other side too. And that is really, really wonderful.
This is, I feel this in the hamstring. How about you?
You have to squeeze your glutes. If you want to feel it more in your glute, you have to squeeze that glute. All right?
Okay, that's a good point. So I was just not concentrating on my glute muscle just then. So my body was compensating, and I was feeling it mostly in my hamstring. So they always talk about mind-body connection. And so you actually will work a muscle out better if your mind is connected to the muscle that you're working. So you picture it. If you want a butt that's more lifted, that's my goal. Picture it as you're working it to get that muscles lifting and getting tighter and tighter. Mm-hmm. That will help you to work the proper muscle that you need to work for that exercise.
Right, absolutely. Do you want to show them one more band thing with the bridge real quick? I'm going to have Jen demonstrate it. I'm going to bring her mat back up and have her demonstrate using a band during the bridge. Go ahead.
Bridges are, to me, kind of like the plank when it comes to glute work. It's a good one. So you want to say shoulder width apart. I've got the band just above my knees. And I'm going to lift up high, but I'm not going to overextend. I'm going to go as high as I can, squeezing out, in, Yeah, right?
Yep.
You want to show another, is there another version that you did?
That's the one I do. That's the one I love.
This is what I do. And you do this 10 to 15 times, 3 to 5 reps, and you're going to really get a great burn.
You could
Typically,
probably
this
even,
one can be a stronger band usually.
and you could even start with your legs apart, but your knees together, and then come up and then pull it apart. Does that feel any different or no? Not really.
Well, the tension isn't on the band, but it's still different with the knees forward. Yeah, yeah, it's another variation for sure. Well, so I just rolled with my ankle. You don't want to do that. I don't know if you know this. So it's something I'll have to work on.
It's really important to keep the toes forward too.
Yeah.
That way you don't roll the ankle.
See, I'm rolling a little bit. So it's just something we have to work on.
Yeah. Plus, you have to remember that Jen and I are both little people.
Yes.
So these bands, the circumference of the bands are, kind of big. So we have to work a little bit harder on getting our legs further apart. So, I don't know if you noticed, just even have the resistance of the bands, her legs were pretty far apart. You might not have, if you're taller, then the bands, your feet aren't going to be as far apart. Right. And the band will have tension already.
And all of us typically have, I typically have my feet go in, not out. I don't have a turnout. So each of us will either be typically, some people, probably Susan's more dancer, turn out. So you want to you'll do your natural placement of your feet, but usually that's a compensation position, so you want to try to keep your feet straight as much as possible, unless it calls for feet out or feet in. But I have to watch myself, as typically my feet will go in just naturally. So I got to concentrate on keeping them straight.
Great.
Okay, so we'll do a little bit of upper body.
Sure.
And so one thing I am a big believer in, especially for women, I think it's something we neglect. So we want to have toned arms. One thing that makes your arms look toned is shoulders, working on your shoulders a little bit, because as you round out that part of your shoulder, make it strong, that indentation between your shoulder muscle and your arm muscle, it gives the illusion of toner, fitter arms. So don't neglect your shoulders is what I'm trying to tell you. And typically, shoulders are a muscle you can injure very easily, so you always want to have your shoulders warmed up. That's why I like planks as well, because planks is kind of a full body warm up. There's warming your shoulders and your core and your lower body as well. So typically if my arms aren't warmed up, I'll do just big shoulder circles, small shoulder circles, both ways, sometimes just kind of just moving. And then I'll start with a weight that's light for me. So a weight that's light for me would be a 5. So I'm just gonna do a few lateral shoulder raises. So if you can see from the side view, my arms are kind of coming down naturally where they hang for me, and then up, okay? So I'm doing I would do 20 of these just to warm the shoulder up. Then I would move into, I feel like this is weird, I'm leaning forward for you to see this, whoops. Then I would do what I think, so your basic shoulder, you can do basic shoulder exercises. I would typically go up in weight. Right, so and you can bring it but just your nice military shoulder presses. I don't go down too far because that puts pressure on your elbows. When you go about 90, you're still working that shoulder muscle.
And just remember that if you feel tension in your neck or right here in your shoulders, it's because you're raising up. So Just try to keep a relaxed neck, and if you want, just kind of shake off your neck a little bit, shake off your head, and then start again.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one of the shoulder workouts you want to do or exercises. Lateral would be one. Also front, you can do front with a grip, grip straight or turn in. Sometimes I'll do both. You can also do a V.
One at a time,
yep.
If you want.
One at a time. And then another one would be turning your palms out and go. This one's a little bit more challenging. So what I'm doing is going straight up. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, and you'll feel it typically in this front part. So we work our lateral, our top, our forward. You do have a shoulder muscle back here that you don't want to neglect, because a lot of times our front is more developed than our back, and then you get this hunched over. And as we age, we want to make sure posture is important. So you do want to work that back muscle. And I'm going to show you something real quick. If I had a bench, something I could lean on, I'm going to square my shoulders up. I'm going to look. I'm going to square my shoulders up. Let's say I'm leaning on something. For me, that just supports it. And my grip is here, straight. And I'm just pulling up. This is not a back. This is a rear delt exercise. And I'm just pulling and I'm squeezing right there. And for me, I do one at a time because I don't want to hunch. I want to do good form. And so I'm coming straight down. I guess I'll do this side straight. And I go about as high as I can go. Everybody's different. I have some ability to work on in my shoulders. So that's something you want to do. You can do it with both. I typically do with one arm. So that's just a real quick at home. If you have dumbbells, you can touch each of those. And then also, of course, do you want to show? Yeah, tricep. So here's a tricep. Again, try to.
This not only works your tricep, but it works this part right here.
Yeah.
Of your shoulders.
Yeah.
Of your blades.
Or you can do above. On these, you have to be kind of careful that you're going straight up.
And a good way to not arch your back is, you couldn't see Jen's feet or Jen's leg, but she has her legs staggered a little bit. And this helps compensate so that you don't arch your back when you have your arms raised up. Do you see how she has her feet staggered like that? It helps plant your feet so that you're working. Make sure always to have your abs engaged, have your core engaged.
And I'm going to the top and I'm squeezing my tricep. I'm not going here. I'm not doing that motion. I'm keeping my arm stable and I'm going straight up.
She's keeping it behind her head.
Yep.
Behind her head.
And squeezing. What other triceps? And of course, push-ups are great for triceps and full arms. You can do push-ups on your knees. I'll show you that real quick. You can do, if you're on your knees, you can go out, okay? So that's more chest focus. Or if you want to go, bring your arms to, I have a hard time doing on my knees.
Close to your body.
Close to your body.
Also,
That's tricep.
a modified is on your counter at home. You can do a modified on your counter. So if you want to work more chest or more back.
So that is, you definitely, I would prefer you modifying it like Susan is doing right now, up on something, a counter, a wall. Then you can go lower and lower and lower. Instead of going on your knees with push-ups, knees are not always the best modification. It's not as good with your range of motion. Doing a modification like Susan was just showing is much better when you're doing push-ups.
And you want to make sure that you're far away so that you're far enough away, like probably at least 3 feet back, right? So that you do have pressure on the counter. Right. And again, arms further apart for back.
Right.
Closer together and elbows close to the close to your body.
Right. So your hands are going right underneath your shoulder blades. And that is actually that push-up does work your shoulders and your triceps.
Yeah.
And your chest. Chest kind of gets hit on all of it. Yeah. Okay. So, and then I think that's good. I think we know bicep curls. Anything to show bicep curls?
Just there's the different bicep curl form. You want to make sure that your elbows are close to your body, right? That it's controlled. Whether you take it halfway, or all the way down, right? And you want to make sure it's controlled. You can also do it to the side, up, down, and down, down and down. And the great thing too, which I always preach into Tabata, is it's always good to work the larger muscle groups first because you're going to tire it out. So the biceps and the back would definitely be before your triceps because your triceps will not get as much benefit if you start out that way because your triceps and your shoulders are going to help work for you, right? Because those are our larger muscle groups. So we want to make sure to tire this out first, work all this first, and your shoulders first, so that by the time you do a tricep move, or the one that Jen showed you here.
Yeah, you can do it with one arm too.
That you wear out the other muscle groups first. What else can you think of? Yeah, from home. Oh, I want to show the kettlebell moves.
Okay.
If that's okay. And then I also want to make sure too that you're all doing your calf raises to strengthen your ankles and your calves and your knees and your glutes. So we'll start with the kettlebell. Okay. So as you can see, there's our kettlebell. Sorry, so you can see I have a 10 and Jen has a 15. They come in different sizes and weights and shapes. No, oh, okay. So one of the ones that I like to do that for the arms is obviously you're going to raise both of them up, right? And you want to make sure that your knees are slightly bent and that you're raising up. And you're just doing it nice and slow, right? And then another one that works on your glutes and your legs would be a side lunge and up. Side lunge, sorry, and up, side lunge, and up, side lunge, and up. Sorry, I'm trying not to get in front of you.
No, get this
And what other moves do you want to show with the kettlebell?
Well, you can do different varieties of squats. You can do a sumo squat, which would be your legs a little wider. You can't see our feet, but our feet are turned out.
Here,
Susan.
Yeah.
And you're going to, so always with squats, you're sitting with your butt back, but you're going straight down. We're not leaning forward like we're sitting on a chair. We're going straight down, but we're going to try to get our butt as low as we can. Now, sometimes we have to work on our flexibility to get it lower. These are really good, and squeeze at the top. So this is a sumo squat. You could also do, I'll show you on this. You can put your foot on anything. A split lunge with the kettlebell, or you can certainly do it without one. Maybe I should do it. Well, I guess I'll do it this way. So if I was going to do it with weight, I'll kind of, there, can you see? Get forward. I'm going to go straight down. I'm pushing through this heel.
In the front.
Yeah. I'm pushing through the heel of the front foot, squeezing that glute.
Right, so I'm lifting my toes so that you can see that I'm pushing through the front heel. See? Yeah. And I'm really squeezing this glute.
And you can even put your foot on something higher. The whole point of putting your foot up on something is to use this leg. So do it without the kettlebell probably to start with. Of course, you can do.
I don't like to go forward with the kettlebell, but you can do it. I mean, so a lot of people do this with a kettlebell.
That would be as you're confident in your posture being strong and your core being strong. I think on that one.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to do calf raises in general. So as I said before, if you are lucky enough to have some kind of stuff in your house, even if it's into the shower, like I typically do this when I'm coming in and out of the shower, or while I'm waiting for the water to warm up in the shower. And we're going to do double. You can do double, right? So you want to be slightly forward, but make sure that you're aligned, and that your heels go below. That's why it's important to use a stair, because you see that my heel is below the step, and raise, right? And you're going to start with 30 reps of that. Okay, so you're going to do that, 30 reps, and then you're going to stretch it out. Okay, you're going to stretch out each of your feet, each of your calves, and then you're going to do this 3 times. So 3 sets of 30. All right, once you kind of master that, you can go up to 3 reps of 50, or you can even do one leg. All right, so this is great for your calves, your hamstring, and your glute. You'll really start to feel the glute, especially if you really engage the glute as you're rising up. So I'm kind of squeezing as I'm rising up. All right, so this is really great that you can do at your home. And like I said, I do it coming in and out of the shower while I'm waiting for the water to warm up. And then it gets it done, okay?
I think that's a great tip that you just mentioned, was doing things in the time that we have that was just maybe some wasted time. So sometimes it's hard to fit in a whole workout, but she's waiting for the shower, waiting for the water to warm up, and she's doing a few sets of calf raises. That's a great, great, great tip you're in the kitchen or you're doing something or you're waiting for water to boil, do a few squats right there in the kitchen. Or if you have a band, bands are awesome to have in your home.
I have this in my bathroom, and I do this while I brush my teeth. I do this 5 sets of 5 while I'm brushing my teeth.
That's a great tip. That's a great tip. Okay, so last I'm going to show you a couple of more abs, and then we're going to be done for now. So, okay, let's get our mats on, I guess. One of the exercises that I love, as well as the plank, because my body type naturally is a little more square. So I want to do anything that's going to bring my waist sort of more in, bring it in. And these are called Russian twists. You can do it with the medicine ball or without. And these are really good at narrowing the waist. So, and if you have back problems, I definitely would not use this. I might start with my feet on the floor.
Yeah, it's always good to work your way up, right? So we always talk about leveling up. So you want to start by doing correct form, making sure that you nail that you're like, okay, I nailed that. I've done that like a million times. I think I know what I'm doing. I think I need more of a challenge. I think I need to level it up to the next playing field so that you can even start here, right? And then you would work to the kettlebell. The cool
and you can work to lifting your legs.
Kettlebell, the medicine ball.
Yep, switching. And typically you can touch each side if you want, or hold the medicine ball.
Right.
And if I'm holding my legs up, I'll do 20 to 25
and if
like
you're
this.
Working with a partner too, it's always fun. Then you can pass it, right? Pass it. Pass it. Pass it. And it's just fun that way.
Yeah.
Another way you can do it is toe to toe. Right?
You can't see Susan, but
can't
she's
see me,
there.
that's all right. So
Down.
down, coming up, passing, coming down, coming up, passing, coming down, coming up, and passing. And you can even go over your head.
Yeah,
so
okay.
when you go down, it would go back over your head, up, there, back over your head. So these are kind of like partner things that if you want to get with a friend, get with your spouse, get with your trainer, anything that you can do in the gym or at home. Some more basic tips on abs is just to keep it engaged at all times. So I had 2 C-sections, so when I'm still working on a full sit-up because I feel kind of like a turtle on my back where I can do a lot and I have a very strong core, but to do a full sit-up is very tricky. So what I learned is to work my way down, right? And then, see, I can't even get all the way back up because I'm still like a turtle. But anyway, you can work your way down. And even if you want to stop here, then come back up. And then come down. And back up. When you do anything on your backs with your legs raised, the really important thing too is to make sure that your lower back is on the floor. So if your lower back isn't on the floor, you need to bring your knees a little bit further toward you, or you need to come further off the floor. So down here, my back starts to arch, so that means I've gone too far. So I need to bring it up or bring it in to make sure that my back stays flat on the floor, okay? And you always want to keep that engaged. If you can, always move your head off of the mat to keep your chin high, all right? You don't want to go like this. Totally. If you need support, always do this or always do this. Anything else? Any other tips? This is our first video for you all, so we're really excited.
Well, I can say one tip before I ever used any weights, because I had some back issues. So when I started going back to the gym after a while of not being in the gym, I started with just body weight. And I did a lot of reps with not much weight at all. And I did it for quite a while. It takes time to strengthen and to build muscle. So my tip would be just to give yourself time and if you really and truly just using your body, if you can't get any of this equipment, just using your body weight is enough.
Yeah.
And
resistance training is the best kind of training you can do, which is your own strength and body weight.
Right.
And body movement.
That's right. So doing maybe more sets as you increase. So you always want to be increasing, but sometimes you need to stick to, start somewhere and get, just build that for a little while and then move up. Like, give yourself time and patience is my tip, because I can remember I ended up being able to do much more weight down the road, but it actually took quite a long time and a lot longer than I thought it would. But it's still worth it, and we're doing such a great thing for our body to do these kinds of body resistant exercises, and not just only cardio. And it's really, really important for our long-term health to do something that creates resistance on the muscles.
Well, and I definitely, I've always talked about being a huge believer in ab training too, because the thing is that we need core to do everything.
Right.
And not only that, but as women especially, we have parts that need to be, maintained high. And so otherwise you have to have surgeries to tack them back up. And so as we get older, it's very, very important to not forget your core. Whether you're sitting in a restaurant and you engage your core, you squeeze your pelvic floor, and you sit there and, hold it in for 20 seconds, or even just sitting up straight. I think a lot of times, we get lazy, or we lean and everything like that. And I shouldn't say lazy, it's just that we're relaxed, right? But I think the more that you kind of mentally think, okay, let's keep the abs engaged, and that way you can really keep everything in its place, in your interior, your abdominal wall. So it's really about keep taking care of that and maintaining that. And if anything, like she said, you've got to start someplace. And if you could just do a little bit every day, and if you miss a day, you can't kick yourself, just start again the next day. Whether it's, I think, again, we keep talking about planking. Planking is like really the key to everything. So if you can get that in, that's huge.
Planking, some sort of a push-up on the wall or on the floor,
on
a squat, because you can do those anywhere. Those 3 exercises will do wonders. You can travel, you have space on the floor, you can do any of those 3 basic exercises.
Exactly. So
I think that's it.
And like I said, this was just kind of an instructional video to show you kind of form and things that you can do at home. And then I really do want to start showing you the actual planking videos with Tabata. That way you can do it with us. And it'll be a video, we'll break it down. We'll do like 1 Tabata song at a time instead of the half an hour, so that you can see how easy it is to take 3 minutes of your day, listen to the song and watch the video of that 3 minutes and work it, okay? So we'll get that out to you.
For that. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend,
Keep
everybody.
Going.
We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you.
We are. We're going to do another video.
Yes, we'll do
and
another
talk
video.
to you. Bye.